Hi, this is your good friend Giggle Skull here for another edition of Reminisce. Today's topic is quite arguably one of the world's greatest horror films ever created, and that is 1978's John Carpenter's Halloween. I mean, one of the best. Excellent film. Still holds up to this day, in my opinion. I've watched this movie literally hundreds and hundreds of times. I mean, it never gets old. It's literally one of those movies I could watch every day for the rest of my life, and I'd be cool. I'd be fine with that. I could never tire of it. I mean, every Halloween I pull this bad boy out, and all the others, and I sit and watch them all continuously. But this is granddaddy of them all. Pretty much started the whole thing. And a lot of people argue that it pretty much started the slasher genre that got popular through the 80s and was kind of reinvigorated in the 90s. But anyways, it was released on October 25th, 1978, and it started out, man, not so good. You know, it got a lot of, critics didn't care for it and just, didn't do that well. But then finally the buzz started kicking in, and everybody's like, hey man, this is actually a pretty good movie. And then all of a sudden they just exploded, and just made millions and millions of dollars. And heck, the whole movie only made around $325,000, and I think it grossed 45 million in the US and about 70 million worldwide, and that's pretty impressive for an independent horror film back then. And at the time it was one of the highest grossing horror films back in 78. And also after it was released, heck, there's been a lot of copycats, based around holiday themes. New Year's Evil, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Mother's Day, 1980 version, April Fool's Day, what else? My Bloody Valentine, Bloody New Year, of course. But going back a little bit, back in '74, there was Black Christmas. So I guess technically Halloween didn't start it, but everybody started doing it after Halloween. So, yeah, man, and it also got Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis plays Laurie Strode, and that was her first starring role in the film. And I think she did a little TV stuff before then. And of course, the great Donald Pleasance plays Sam Loomis, and God rest his soul, dude. Oh, he was awesome in that movie. I mean, just the nuance he brought to the film, and just his passion of trying to catch the antagonist of the film, Michael Myers. And speaking of which, good old Mikey, purely and simply evil. And I don't know why I love this dude. He's one of my favorite movie characters of all time. And I just love the dude. And I mean, just big fan. And even my wife says, you're a little creepy liking Michael Myers so much. It's like, just cool character, just blank mask, blank expression, and he doesn't run, he just walks, and it's eerie as hell. But anyways, it also has Nancy Keys, who her name at the time was Nancy Loomis, and she plays Annie Brackett. Then Charles Cypers, played Sheriff Lee Brackett, ended up being her father. And P.J. Souls plays Linda Van Der Klock. I guess that's how you say her name. Of course, she was originally in Carrie back in '76. It's only cast. Linda was basically created for her because John Carpenter liked her performance in Carrie. And don't get me started on John Carpenter. He created some good horror films, and this one's one of the best. And also stars Kyle Richards, who's played Lindsay Wallace, and she went on and she actually played in a Disney movie. I can't think of her character's name at the moment. I apologize. Watcher in the Woods, which is some considered probably one of Disney's horror film in a way. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Don't really remember it much. But anyways, back on topic. Kyle Richards went on to be in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I thought was pretty interesting. I never watched the show. Only knew about it because my mom told me. Anyways, Nick Castle plays the Shape, aka Michael Myers, and he mainly was Michael Myers throughout the production, except the scene when his face was exposed, and that happened to be Tony Moran, and a lot of people freaked out when they saw that because they're just they saw his face of the killer, and a lot of people thought it was disfigured. And they're like, no, he was just a regular dude, other than the makeup they put when he got makeup they put on when he got cut by Lori, but other than that, he was a regular dude. And there was two masks chosen for the film. One was a clown mask with a smiley face. I think it had some red fluffy hair. A lot of people said it looked eerie and creepy during production. Then they decided to go with a James T. Kirk mask, was a likeness of William Shatner from Star Trek. And I'm not sure if they tried it on before the modifications, but anyways, they made modifications to the mask, made the eye holes bigger, ripped the sideburns off, painted the hair brown, and ripped the eyebrows off, and did a test, and the crew was like, oh, dude, that works, because, his face is completely blank and emotionless, and that looks even creepier, so they went with that. And, the movie, I mean, I've seen it so many times, this scare factor isn't much there for me anymore, but, I mean, it's still a scary movie. I mean, if you haven't seen it before, especially, seeing it when it was first released, dude, I mean, it was creepy. And, as you can hear, probably one of the greatest theme music ever in a horror film, which the music was composed by John Carpenter. And, dude, it's excellent. It's excellent. I mean, I think you play this theme to anyone, and they'll immediately go, Halloween, or Michael Myers, or, oh, dude, that movie's scary. Dude, it's so iconic, and it is awesome. I mean, it's awesome. I could listen to the soundtrack all the time. I mean, I actually have it on my iPod. I could just listen to this whole track from beginning to end, and just, it's awesome. And it's great. Not only that, the soundtrack also, like, parts of the music, like Lori's theme, the Shape Stalks, I think it's what's called. I mean, it sets up the atmosphere of the movie so perfectly. And I remember at first when the movie was complete, they watched it with no music, and a lot of the crew and stuff was like, you know what, the movie's not very scary. But after John composed it and they put the music in of the finished film, and everybody was like, whoa, dude, this music really works, and it makes it even scarier. Yeah, and actually, the TV rights were sold to NBC back in 1981, and so when NBC decided to air it, I believe during Halloween, of course, they of course, some scenes had to be toned down or even edited. So John Carpenter and the crew actually filmed a couple of scenes for the TV version during the production of Halloween 2. And the scenes were, let's see, just after little Michael was found outside of his house with a butcher knife in his hands, and back in 1963, there's a scene where it shows Dr. Loomis, I guess, with the I think it's called the Smith's Grove Sanitarium. I apologize if I got it wrong. Last time I watched this movie was of October last year. I need to watch it again just to refresh my memory. I mean, I've seen it so many times I should remember everything. But anyways, it was I think it was a Smith's Grove Sanitarium, and you see Dr. Loomis talking to the board. It was just two guys in this kind of auditorium, speaking of what they're going to do with little Michael, and Loomis is trying to say, hey, let me take him under my care, blah blah blah. And then another scene was shot just after he escaped, where you see his room kind of messed up and all demolished, and the word sisters carved into a door. And there's another scene where Linda believes she's being followed by someone and goes to Lori's house, and she's a little freaked out. And then Linda, it looks like Lori just came out of the shower. She's got a towel on her head and such, and she's asking to borrow a blouse. You know, it's just a little scene. You know, it's not really needed in the film, but you know, but what's cool is that I'm not sure the year, but Anchor Bay released a DVD of Halloween called the Extended Edition, right here, which actually includes the 12 minutes of additional scenes that were shot for television, which is pretty neat. It adds 12 more minutes. It goes 104 minutes long, and what was normally 91 minutes. You know, it's not, and it's cool. It works. I mean, it actually, and it adds a little bit of you know, I guess little plot holes, not technical plot holes, but just little you know, just little bits of like parts of the story you didn't get to see normally that you'd be like, oh cool, you know, I got to see that. But yeah, and it was shot in California, and based in a fictional town of Haddonfield, Illinois, which they got the name Haddonfield from Deborah Hill, who is actually from Haddonfield, New Jersey. So they used Haddonfield, Illinois. And what's funny is you know, especially Halloween fans, hardcore Halloween fans, have seen the film numerous times. You can actually see parts when they're walking through the neighborhood of palm trees in the background. So, you know, they couldn't really fix that back then, but yeah, heck, oh well. And what was funny is that they had to bring in leaves to simulate fall, and they would throw them down, and I think they even have like a big fan or a wind machine blow some leaves around. And so when we were done with the scene, they had to pick them all up, take them to the next location, which excuse me. Excuse me, pardon me. So that was, I'm sure that was a lot of work grabbing up all these darn leaves and stuff. And I heard it was hard for them to keep pumpkins and stuff preserved, because, you know, it's during the spring of spring of '78 is when they shot it. It took them like 20 days. And a lot of the cast and crew kind of stuck around and helped out, you know, carrying equipment. You know, a lot of the stars helped set up and get everything going, which is, it's pretty cool. You know, I mean, it was really, really independent. And man, I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies all time. I mean, of any genre, and it's #1 on my list of top. Like, if I did a top 10, it's #1. You know, some of the others I have to sit and think about one day, but it's actually a film. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing, man? Go see this movie. See this movie, and it's close to being 40 years old, which is awesome. Let's see, it'll be 2018. This thing would be 40 years old. And just recently they did a 35th anniversary, you know, a few years ago on Blu-ray. I would love to get, I still need to pick that up. But anyways, go get Halloween. And if you can find it anywhere, I'm sure it might be available somewhere. I haven't really looked, but try to find the extended edition, which includes the 12 minutes of extra footage shot for television. And check these out. One of the greatest horror films of all time, Halloween. This is this edition of Reminisce, and we'll call it quits for this episode. So I'll see you next time. If you like what you see, subscribe. If not, I guess don't subscribe. It'll hurt my feelings, but I'll get over it. And hey, for any reason there's anything you'd like to possibly reminisce about, just leave a comment, and I'll try to look into it. But until next time, children, this is Giggle Skull Hill saying thank you for reminiscing with me, and goodbye. He has the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.